Absolute Zero going up against RSG. We talk about the bans, right?
Yeah.
The bans is pretty much a standard we've seen throughout the entirety of yesterday that pretty much paved the way for whatever that we should be expecting.
But Kimi has been showing up yesterday. So
Yes.
actually, I looked out if MPL Singapore has this high win rate, actually 100% win rate.
I think
for
now,
now,
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
I look out other regions as well. It has incredible win rate indeed. So it's a phenomenal right now we are seeing here for this current patch that Kimi is really an OP hero. So it's one of the, for me, a desired ban here for both teams. But first pick is going to go for Absolute Zero. So I'm not sure if RSG SG will be able to ban it or decide to ban it. If not, Kimi.
Yeah, I think the ball is on the court of RSG. They would be the one that wants and needs to ban the Kimi. Otherwise, the Kimberlin is going to go over to the side of Absolute Zero. And I don't think that they want a Kim Lee there.
Let's see. But so far, no bans for Kimi. Okay, so if Kimi has been if Kimi is going to be taken here by Absolute Zero, okay, response usually is going to be Suyo or Phovius here. So now, let's just see Coach Amox here on the side of RSG SG. Will go for that ban on the Kimi or not? But so far, this is the pattern we are seeing here when it comes to the but no, not around this time. So okay, Kimi is pretty much open. Kalea is going to be chosen.
Your team is picking.
Okay, Kalea yesterday,
Poor performance.
yeah, actually, but she has been one of the top bans on yesterday, and when it comes to win rate, yep, it's very low.
So high ban pick rate, right? One of the higher ones. In fact, maybe 100% ban pick, right? But not that great of a showing. I think that the teams are still kind of scrambling around, trying to understand, okay, how do we want to play this? How do we want to do this? What's Kalea best for? This Kalea is not exactly a one hero fits all kind of composition, right? As much as it seems as though, okay, Kalea is great for catch. Maybe we can play around catch. I think that is a very reasonable thing to do. But in the meantime, Kalea also have very good pacing all the way from the start to the mid stages of the game. So I think that is definitely one thing that they can look out into. Is that a Freya that I'm saying?
No way.
Is that a Vendetta thing? I think that's a Vendetta thing.
No,
it's a Vendetta thing.
Freya Vendetta.
Vendetta.
Sound okay. Okay.
Your
Speaking of
team is
Salas, I
picking.
think he's Filipino also.
Salas.
I have a.
Is that how you pronounce it? Salas?
Salas.
Salas?
Salas.
Salas.
If it's Pinoy, it's Salas.
Salas. What does that mean?
I don't know.
If it's
actually it's living room. Maybe it's his name. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Wait, what was the living room in Tagalog?
Salas. I mean, it's the
like the living area.
Yeah.
So he's the living area.
let's see. But I have, just Pinoy and me just saying he's a Filipino. So anyway, I'll confirm. He's a living area. I'll confirm later on. But Salas, of course,
living area.
Living area is now used. Pick the Matilda with the Aegis battle spell. So we all know that sustainability will be one of the prio strategy here for the side of Absolute Zero. Kalea, you mentioned, of course, great on laning as well. Not only the pacing, laning is very good because of her sustain and the capability of using that water zone as well. So let's see on the other side. There you go. Got a Kacha.
Okay, got the Kacha. We got a Hayabusa as well as a Kimi. So at least whenever you have a Kimi on your side, when it comes down to the Traction Pulse, you will want to play into the Traction Pulse, right? So having a team fight oriented team composition will always be great. But of course, once you look at the Hayabusa, you kind of think about it. Wait, that is a little bit off the tangent. The problem, I wouldn't say problem. The thing about junglers now is that they don't have to conform to the regular style of what the team is trying to go for. What the jungler generally want to do is try to look for opportunities to win in objectives, which is one of the main point. If you're able to gel that jungler into your main team fight composition, then that's great. But then you are also putting all your eggs into a single basket. Having a Hayabusa on their composition right now enables them to be able to go for split pushes and having wide control all across the map.
True.
And I think that's it. Right?
That's true. I agree. Which is counterintuitive here for the side of the Alpha. Alpha is pretty
All in.
going all in. That's the thing. So unlike Hayabusa, can go for a split push, can go for a flanking maneuver, but yeah,
Eh?
yeah,
Oh wait,
Why?
yeah, you talked about Matilda.
yeah, Matilda.
And
That's
there's
why,
a Kalia.
Clea, yeah,
Kalia EXP?
yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
yeah, sure.
The water zone. Okay, Clea. That's
Sure.
I mentioned a while ago. Clea is very strong on the lane.
Yeah.
Water zone. It has the level 2. It's gonna be easy for this hero to roam in
Your
the mid
team
and
is
go back.
picking.
Okay.
Because of the enhanced level skill 2 of that one, she has the what do you
The
call
kind
it?
of jump,
The jump
tidal,
one. Yeah,
the
correct.
tidal strike into
Yep.
the rolling wave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
So
gonna
I
be
call it
easy.
like tidal
Yeah.
wave. Sounds
Okay.
better.
Yeah.
Right?
The
Yeah.
tidal wave.
Tidal wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You learn something new every day, guys.
yep.
Combine them all together is tidal wave. Cause rolling strike doesn't sound right. She doesn't seem like she rolls very well.
She dives.
She
So-
dives.
But then again, I feel a little bit wary for the alpha. But again, there's a Gatakacha here. There's a Kimi to follow up that
Your
AOC
team
just
is
in
picking.
case. But then again, there's a Matilda to save with the guiding wind. So let's see on how they be able to execute. But again, alpha is for now vulnerable here on the strike spot with this kind of lineup coming in from RSG SG.
Well, at least what they have got working for them is that they do have the standard duo of how you want to play an Alpha. Yeah, Alpha's main problem is that he's a very commodal hero.
Yeah, that's true.
As
Yeah.
such, drafting a Matilda for themselves kind of eliminates that
Your
commodal
team is
problem.
picking.
They are no longer going to be overcommitting into battles if he wants to go for a spear of the Alpha.
Yes.
So with that all said, we do have the final 2 picks that's out, the Loi as well as 1-1. So what do you make out of this?
Okay, 1-1. I've seen a 1-1 pick yesterday once, if I'm not
Once,
mistaken.
yes.
Yeah. 1-1 by Team Flash. I think it was Vanix who won the game using 1-1 in the first game. Yeah.
Ah.
So 1-1 is okay, but with this kind of lineup, okay, 1-1 can be given a space because Alpha very strong in the early game. You have a Matilda as well. These 2 heroes can really harass the side hero of RSG SG and provide a space here for the 1-1. 1-1 can scale. If 1-1 can scale, then again, this is one of their victory conditions here for the gold lane.
Okay, so in terms of drafting for both of these 2 teams, do you have any bias as to how it has been drafted
You
so
know,
far?
you guys talk about how the meta really reflects MPL SG, right? It's more of a standardish, like team fight, committal, blah blah blah. But when it comes to other regions, especially PH, it's more of a micro. Somehow they go for a micro now, like assassin junglers. You can, which gives a big difference when it comes to a team fights. Before season 8 here at MPL SG, it's more of Tigreal Vexana, just simple
Yeah.
execution. But
Yes.
now with the Hayabusa and everything here, now the single shots, single shot or the player mechanics is a big difference right now. So
Right.
let's see when it comes to their lineup here, because Yon right now is on the Hayabusa. I go much to their favor here. Plus the Kimi as well. We haven't seen a loss on the Kimi in the previous games.
That is true. So I guess the odds are kind of stacked against Absolute Zero, but maybe we just kind of like dive down and take a look at how the laning phase is potentially going to go, right? Because we do have a CC that is down in the bottom lane. So I think the CC is drafted in a pretty nice way because they will want to dominate the EXP lane as much as possible. Because one of the main core things that they drafted Kalia into the EXP is because of mobility, right? Being able to be around the map as often as possible. If you have a CC that generally is able to really just punish the Kalia, I think that is going to put Kalia's main point about being drafted in the EXP completely taken away.
Plus, of course, the CC right now is kind of had an advantage here when it comes to 1-on-1 against the side of Kalea. But I really thought it's going to be a par fight.
Okay.
But we've seen, of course, Vendetta trying to back away for now. But when it comes to a battle spell, abstract, there's 3 purifies right now here on the side of RSG SG, which means if ever the committal, again, the strategy committed for the side here of Absolute Zero, they are prepared here to counter that one.
I guess that this is a very hold on a second, take a look at Buji. Hey, he's not looking great, but unfortunately Yon failed to get that luck of the draw to get a final hit down onto Buji.
Yeah, I think they still need the ultimates here for the side of RSG SG, especially we have discussed regarding the combo of AOG plus the Destruction Pulse from the Scheme. Now the turtle is up. It is RSG SG controlling the spit for now. Ultimates are not yet ready for the side of RSG SG. I think the absolute zero, however, in the middle lane, is going to rush into the damage.
Oh, yeah, that is kind of crazy. As such, Buji would not be available for this upcoming fight for the turtle, but it's not going to be a problem. Vendetta is just going to be jumping right in, knocking people right up, and that is more or less going to be great for them. As Yon, he was not around the vicinity trying to contest for this turtle. I would say that is most likely because he's going up against a Vendetta plus an Alpha. Going in, more or less, is going to be practically called a suicide.
Yeah, plus they are not really ready on that kind of situation right now. But Jay right now has the AOG. Yon also has the ultimate ready. Oh!
There we go. That is going to be the rotation that we're going to be talking about. The diversion just works out perfectly. As now we're going to Absolute Zero. It's just going to be right behind RSG SG. We do have the Circling Eagle that allows Nan to pick up the second kill onto Roy and Jay.
Wow, that was beautiful. That was a surprise attack indeed for the side of Absolute Zero, and RSG SG will cannot afford that kind of situation once again. So they have to be very wary of that Louis. Speaking of which, Louis was not picked even once yesterday, and we see now it's still very powerful mid lane.
Still very viable. In fact, there we go. A quick little stun coming in from the Tidal Wave and into the Tsunami Slam. Picks out Roy out of the turret. Now that is what we want to see.
3-0, less than 4 minutes. Now this is a great momentum building up for Absolute Zero. Now RSG SG haven't seen yet the combo that we are expecting them to execute. But now here in the middle lane, it is now going to be Nan going to force this team fight.
This is definitely going to be a tough one for RSG. But 3 members in mid versus 4 members, but
go.
somehow Nan still wants to go for the fight, but he did manage to get a clip off over to CS. Now rest on to 3 versus 3, but we do have the guiding wind to yoink Nan out of the fight.
Yeah, this is what you want. Again, Absolute Zero here, just taking advantage of their draft. Very strong in the early game. Nan 3-0 on the Alpha. Has a killing spree here, and now the optimization. I believe Nan has the damage already. We have seen how he can zone out RSG SG. Now this is the second turtle in the game. They are going to commit.
Ooh, perfect initiation right onto Jay, but unfortunately Jay is not dead just yet. This Gacha is a lot tankier than you expected. Yon actually managed to get himself in the God Shadow to get himself right out of the dodge, but Vendetta at the back, he managed to get the snipe down on the closer and potentially just push Jay further away, allowing Absolute Zero to take absolute control over the Turtle's Pit, and RSG cannot even possibly fight for this.
OMG, Nan was saved, the guiding wind, and this is why Rapidot here on the Matilda is very perfect for this duo, plus the zone from Vendetta on that Kalea. RSG SG cannot penetrate in that moment.
That's scary. Oh, 2 men speed off the Alpha. Deals enough damage, and even when it comes to the guiding wind, it just clipped onto Roy. But Roy, unfortunately, he did manage to get himself a quick jumper and run away. But Nan still managed to find 1 kill, 1 for 1. As a matter of fact, it's a rover boy jungler, so not exactly that great. But at least the last came in, or at the living area, came in and get a kill down on the CS.
Okay, that's the first time we've seen Abstract that Nan falls down, and the positioning of Roy was immaculate there. That is what you wanted there. The Kimi should have the perfect location and how to do her attacks in that situation. In the meantime, Yon just still split pushing in this game. This is the advantage of having a Hayabusa against an Alpha. Alpha wants to go for the team fight. Yon right now, they know RSG SG could not really commit in a major team fight. Go for the split push.
At least when it comes down to Yon and, you know, with all of the things combined, RSG SG has pretty much been losing everything, and when inclusive of team fights, but they managed to at least put out a stalemate when it comes down to turrets for turrets. So that split push from Yon could definitely start to ease a little bit of a burden off of them, and it helps things out just by a tad bit. But remember, RSG's lineup is a lot geared to the mid and the later stages of the game, while Absolute Zero is absolutely dominating and menacing in the early game. But speaking of menacing, it does seem like RSG SG, we do have a single J that got caught, but it's not that big of a deal. Pops the Revitalize, and that is a single battle spell that has been used.
Yep. I like it. I like it. I mean, I mean, RSG right now learns how the mechanics coming in from the side of Fuji. So we have seen that one surprise attack, second one now they're pretty much ready. They just cover themselves under the bush. Now third turtle in the game, RSG SG pretty confident here. Will they be able to commit though?
Really don't know. I don't think that they have any way to actually just go in for a start. But Vendetta, with the tidal wave, they managed to get himself right into Jay. But Jay, with the AOG, he gets himself invulnerable for the tide a little bit, but he still will go down. As Vendetta is going to be the first person to be going down from the side of Absolute Zero, but 3 men down from the side of RSG SG. Absolute Zero and Spill Alpha connects as down. Double kill picks up from the Salas. RSG SG faces their very first wipeout in 7 minutes and 30 seconds into the game.
Absolute Zero! Oh my goodness, Abstract! This is what somehow we are trying to interpret this kind of player, these players rather, performing very well. They know how to execute, even in that team fight. Oh, but hold that thought.
We do have the Ogi Shadow kill popping off. Fuji still alive. He still have got a couple of shields that's working out for him. And in fact, Absolute Zero, they are finding themselves a very good timing-based fight. And they're constantly going to be going on to the aggressive. And RSG, they have no way! Oh! Vendetta! He went into the pixel brush. He manages to find Jay. Jay doesn't have a lot of HP to work with, as such he's going to be going down to Vendetta himself. This clear EXP is actually working out for them perfectly as they worked out this entire composition with an enchanted support. Vendetta is filling the shoes of the one that opens up the map perfectly.
I like it, Vendetta. I mean, you can feel his eagerness to initiate team fights there. But on that skirmish that we have seen right now, Jay falls, but then again, Nan was the counter against the side of Absolute Zero. I've seen the side here of Roy on the Kimi as well as Granger CS. Their positioning is very good. However, the damage is not yet there. You have mentioned, of course, Abstract. Later stage of the game, they will have the itemization and damage will be there.
Now, one of the main problems that I see from the lineup coming from RSG SG is the fact, Pixel! is the fact that they have a Kimi Retraction Pulse, but we'll hold on for that thought for a little bit as Closer almost managed to get himself away. Rapid Dude immediately flicked himself backwards just so that he don't overstay his welcome.
Wow, that was clutch! That was clutch! Jay! Man, I didn't expect he will survive in that situation, but he did. Plus, of course, Yon managed to escape as well. But still, Absolute Zero controlling the map, controlling the game, go for an aggressive play here. They are not stopping.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? Oh, hold on. This is just fight after fight as the Traction Pulse managed to connect on the Vendetta, but he's still alive though. Jay takes his own life away. Quick little sacrifice. But the Ogi Shadow kills did not connect on the Vendetta to get that one kill. As such, RSG did not manage to tally out.
Man, this diversion place gives me chills, man. Yeah. But I love the communication right now for the side of Absolute Zero. They know how to execute the perfect timing as well for the chase. I mean, we always see this one Abstract. Whenever Vendetta initiates, there's going to be a follow-up coming from Nan. If the situation gets wary there for the side of Absolute Zero, again, Salas is there for the... Rapidot is there for the save. And they know how to chase as well. Buji on his diversion plays cannot escape easily here for RSG SG. But then again, we are reaching the 10-minute mark here. Abstract itemization is key here for RSG SG. They just need to hold, give the items to Marksman, Kimi, as well as CS. Let's see how they be able to defend.
As now Vendetta looks for opportunity. Like seeing anything for now. The whole defense up in the middle lane has already been popped this early into the game. Okay, but not too early per se. 11 minutes in. There is still a T2 up in the northern side that Absolute Zero really want to bring down. They're still on track. The pacing is still okay. The leveling curve is also on track for Absolute Zero. They need to rush this. And in fact, Nana jumps himself onto Roy. Roy manages to just barely scrape away.
Man, as the game goes on here, objectives has been taken away little by little against RSG SG. Yes, we have mentioned... Oh,
Jay is going to be caught once again, as we do have the Tsunami Slam that's going to be looking down onto Jay. He escaped himself
Yep.
with a defensive AOG. Vendetta is okay as well, but Salas is all the way right in the opponent's face. He have yet to use his crossbow attack, but he doesn't seem to be able to pop anyone's weaknesses just yet. As such, we do have the middle lane and the bottom lane T3 that's been taken down. Done!
There you go.
Too. When it comes down to Spear of Alpha, Jay just runs straight into the heart of the battle. As such, it's gonna be going down. Salas is dead as well. 3 members left from the side of Absolute Zero. Wait, 4 members left from the side of Absolute Zero. They can still commit to this, as None did not manage to hit anyone with his Spear of Alpha, but Vendetta with the Tsunami Slam, or rather with the Tidal Strike. But the 3-man absolute destruction from the side of Absolute Zero. 2 men down. And now the rest of Absolute Zero, they're gonna have to go back help.
Oh yeah, diversion save was committed there, but you know, Absolute Zero just going ham. They know they can end this game here, but then again, Roy still level 12. He needs to have his levels up as well as immunization. But look at the DPS damage here.
Oh man.
Okay, now we can feel it.
He's a tanky boy, but still taking quite a bit of damage from Gimme, right? This composition from the side of RSG, I think that we gotta have to pave this way, right? They do have the Kimi, they can play around the Traction Pulse, but the Traction Pulse I think is just a bait because they don't have a composition that plays around the Traction Pulse actually. This is a composition that is very single target.
Yep, it is. It is. Now, remember I mentioned that this kind of heroes right now we are seeing more of a micro, or the mechanics is really a factor here. So once the Traction Pulse hits his mark perfectly, I think Jay would have a better way to follow that one up. But then again, there you go, Tsunami Slam.
Perfectly on the J, immediately singled out, and RSG SG unfortunately did not even have any opportunity to follow up to try to help Jay. In fact, at that moment, I feel that it is way better for them to kind of stay back and not do anything.
I agree. And we have seen that kind of scenario time and time again, Abstract, that Jay is actually the target. Yeah, we all know he's a tank, but actually it's one of the strategies here we are seeing from Absolute Zero. Without the God of Katja, it's difficult here for RSG to actually have a front line, because remember, Absolute Zero is dive heavy lineup without the Vanguard. No, RSG, sorry. Without the forward hero that is in the Vanguard.
Without the Vanguard.
Without the Vanguard, they're exposed.
Now the Lord marches in from the middle lane. Top lane is going to be absolutely destroyed, as now RSG's base is obliterated. The entirety of Absolute Zero is back for themselves. The Tsunami Slam is going to be connecting on the Yawn. It's going to be but take a look at the backline coming from the Absolute Zero. We almost have Salas taken down, but the main thing is Salas is still alive. It's 2v2 now. The Lord goes down. Vendetta lost his immortality, as CS and Roy, the 2 main damage dealer, is still around the battle. Salas is looking for something.
Yeah. Okay. But then again, mission accomplished. No more inhibitor turrets here for the side of RSG SG. But we have mentioned, of course, the Hayabusa, the split push capability of this one. It's very difficult here. Only 1 turret until now is been destroyed for the side of Absolute Zero. So Yawn has been struggling here because Absolute Zero is forcing team fights after team fights for RSG SG. No breathing space been given for RSG SG.
Timer is ticking though. Yeah. Timer is really ticking. So now Absolute Zero, they need to formulate a game plan. No longer that front to back is going to be working, because all that RSG is going to be, or rather whatever that is going to be on RSG's back, they no longer have a wall on their back. Normally you would just kind of like back off. Oh, I'm at a wall. I'm screwed. But this time they have a fountain that is at their backs. So whenever they have received a little bit too much damage, go back to fountain and out again.
Reset, yeah.
Just completely resetting over and over again. And unfortunately, that is not something that Absolute Zero could do. Fortunately though, they do have a Bougie. They need to find that perfect game plan, and they need to give RSG that fake sense of security like that, is one of the main things, right? And this
Again, same
the
scenario.
fake sense of security forces the members from RSG SG out of their base and look for the opportunity to kill. As Closer, he manages to get himself away, or maybe not. It's the last. He finds a kill down onto Jay, and then, onto Closest. That is super important. But unfortunately, they do not have the Tsunami Slam to actually pull Yon in, but it's more than enough for them to be able to win. The main thing and the main point that I wanted to make for Absolute Zero is to get RSG SG out of the base. They managed to. They found the opportunity, and this is now a lost cause for RSG when it comes down to winning in the Lord. As a matter of fact, if they want to end this game now, this is probably the best time because frontliner is gone, jungler is gone.
Then again, they decide here to take the Lord instead, but we have seen the defense coming in from both marksmen, Kimi as well as the Granger. They can manage to hold, but with this evolved Lord right now in the hands of Absolute Zero, it's going to be a challenge indeed for RSG SG. But Abstract, again and again, Jay been picked off, cannot escape using the AOG.
Way too much control. We're talking about Vendetta. We're talking about Kalia. You think that the tidal wave, you think the tidal wave and tsunami strike is the only, tsunami slam is the only CC? No, passive is a CC too.
Exactly.
This crazy amount of CCs, especially now that we're thinking about Vendetta as an EXP laner who have more items now. The tankier she will be, and the longer she will stay in combat.
There you go, Jay is the target once again.
And he's just being absolutely melted down. Did you see the amount of damage? The beta is just dishing out over to Jay. The core is now down to 70% HP. The Lord is still hammering down. The rest of the members from the side of RSG SG, they really want to hold on. But Absolute Zero, they obliterated RSG. They played to their timings, they played to their leveling curve, they played to everything best to their own extent. And in fact, remember I said that now's the time for them to end the game because there's like 3 members out there. Now that I think about it, that was a horrible idea. Whoever that is their shot caller to say that, okay, let's go for the Lord. Definitely have way more experience. Definitely made the right call. Because like I said before, they can always just go back to the base. They can always go back to the fountain, heal back up, wave clear, and now we lost all opportunities. We can't even get the Lord because Yon is back.
And again, we've seen Jay's been picked off on his gutted Kacha. I can, as a tank, of course, you need a vision also where the enemy is. But at that kind of scenario right now, that moment in time, I think it's pretty much better to be safe. I mean, you need your AOG. 3, 4 scenarios, AOG has been used just to escape, but he can, then again he still died.
AOG all the time. And I think that I've kind of hopped onto this yesterday, right? Gatokacha is not necessarily a hero as an initiator or the one that opens up the map. Normally you want to let it to the EXP laner. In this case, the Kalia did a perfect job on the flip side, right? But unfortunately, we're looking at a CC. Right? CC, technically speaking, can do that. But after looking at the fact that a simple Gatokacha will be just taken down at a whim, I think that even the CC will be a little bit afraid of just opening up the map like that. They don't have the tools that enables them to open up the map, look at the brushes, so on, so forth. So it's definitely tough for Jay, and it seems as though like Jay is feeding, right? But no, there is this composition that has been drafted. Jay have no choice. He have to be the one that opens up the map. He don't have any escape mechanism, which makes it worse. So the only form of escape mechanism, AOG. So open up the map, oh crap, I'm dying, AOG out. He literally have no other thing that he can do as the roamer, but to do that. I would rather have my roamer do that and give us information rather than to stay behind preparing for an AOG to initiate while the rest of my front lines or rather my back lines dies before I do as a roamer.
The problem is without that Gatokacha, that Spear of Alpha can be freely be used there inside. Now Roy, here on the side of RSG SG, we have seen his scaling on that Kimi. And speaking of Kimi, first time Kimi lost in our regular season. But then again, of course, Yon also is there. They're positioning on the team fights. They're on the back lines there. They're trying their best to hold their ground. But again, without Jay is very important. I think Abstract, you mentioned, of course, how important Jay gives this information. But one of his role also is to be the front line here. So without Jay, it's very easy for this lineup. Very dive heavy here for the side of Absolute Zero plus Salas here. She's scaled right now. This hero 1-1 scaled already into the later stage of the game. It's really, really difficult here for the side of RSG. Plus, I've highlighted during the draft that Hayabusa pick. We need the split push capability, but
Yep.
only one turret has been
Yeah.
secured.
There's just way too much pressure that
Uh-huh.
Absolute Zero has been dishing out over to RSG.
Mm.
So I would understand why Yon felt the need to constantly be around the team, right?
Somehow, yeah.
I definitely want to explore the options of an EXP laner to take over Jay's role in that game. But
Yes,
specifically because of the fact that this is number one, a CC that's drafted. CC is a skill reliant hero. So in order for you to be, well, tenacious, you gotta have to get your stuff to hit, because the items that you build as a CC, such as the War Axe,
Yep.
no more Bloodlust Axe, but War Axe,
Yeah.
we've got the Brute Force Breastplate, and I think that you even have the Oracle, right? So all of these are all based on how much damage I deal, and that's how much I will sustain. And as a guy that opens up the map, you need raw defense, raw HP in order to be able to do all that, or damage mitigation,
Yep.
which is all of the things that CC doesn't need and CC won't need. So in no cases should CC be the one that swaps with Gato Kacha.